There's something most people don't understand about serial killers. They imagine monsters. They imagine evil incarnate. But the reality is far more disturbing because it's far more human. These aren't creatures from nightmares. They're people who walked among society, often unnoticed, sometimes even admired. And that's what makes understanding them so unsettling. Because once you see the patterns, once you understand the psychology, you realize how calculated it all is. The first thing to understand is that serial killers don't just snap one day. There's a progression, a development that happens over years, sometimes decades. It starts small, not with murder, but with something quieter. A fascination with control, an obsession with power, a need to dominate that begins in childhood and grows steadily, feeding on experiences that most people would process differently. But in their minds, these experiences become fuel. Many serial killers experience trauma early in life: abuse, neglect, abandonment. But here's what separates them from others who faced similar circumstances. They don't process that trauma the same way. Where most people might develop empathy from suffering, they develop something else entirely. They internalize a belief that the world is fundamentally hostile, that people are objects, that relationships are transactions of power. And once that belief takes root, it shapes everything that follows. There's a concept in psychology called the Macdonald Triad. 3 behaviors observed in childhood that often appear in the histories of violent offenders. Bedwetting beyond the normal age, obsession with fire setting, and cruelty to animals. Not every serial killer exhibits all 3, and not everyone who shows these signs becomes violent. But the pattern is there often enough to be significant. Because what these behaviors represent is a failure to develop normal emotional regulation, an inability to process feelings in healthy ways, and a growing need to exert control over living things. As they grow older, that need intensifies. They begin to fantasize, not just fleeting thoughts, but elaborate, detailed scenarios that they replay obsessively. These fantasies become a refuge, a place where they have complete control, where they can orchestrate every detail, where nothing happens unless they decide it happens. And over time, those fantasies stop being enough. The gap between imagination and reality becomes unbearable. That's when the escalation begins. Before the first kill, there's usually a period of experimentation. Stalking, voyeurism. Breaking into homes not to steal, but just to be there. To touch someone's belongings, to feel the power of invading their space without them knowing. Each of these acts brings a temporary satisfaction, but like any addiction, the effect diminishes. What once excited them becomes routine. They need more. They need something that crosses a line they haven't crossed yet. The first murder is often impulsive in execution, but not in desire. The want has been there for years. The opportunity finally presents itself, or the internal pressure becomes too strong to resist. And once that line is crossed, something fundamental changes. Because now they know they can do it. They know they can take a life and walk away. That knowledge removes a barrier most people never even approach, and it opens a door that doesn't close. What's crucial to understand is that serial killers are not out of control. That's the misconception. They're not driven by uncontrollable rage or random impulse. They're methodical. They plan. They prepare. They learn from each experience. After the first kill, they analyze what worked and what didn't, what gave them satisfaction and what fell short, what risks they took and how to minimize them next time. Because there will be a next time. The first kill confirms what they suspected all along, that this is what they were meant to do. The cooling off period between murders varies wildly. For some, it's days. For others, months or even years. But during that time, they're not dormant. They're fantasizing again, refining their methods, choosing their next victim. And this selection process is rarely random. They have a type, a specific kind of person who represents something to them. Sometimes it's physical characteristics, sometimes it's circumstance or vulnerability. But there's always a pattern, always a reason, even if that reason only makes sense in their distorted logic. Serial killers often fall into categories based on their motivations. Some are mission-oriented, believing they're ridding the world of people they deem undesirable. Others are visionary, claiming they hear voices or receive commands. Then there are hedonistic killers who murder for pleasure, whether that's sexual gratification, thrill-seeking, or material gain. And finally, power and control killers who are motivated purely by dominance over their victims. But these categories overlap. Many killers exhibit traits from multiple types, because at the core, it's always about control. The role of narcissism cannot be overstated. Most serial killers exhibit extreme narcissistic traits. They see themselves as superior, as smarter than everyone around them, as operating on a different level than ordinary people. This isn't just arrogance. It's a deeply held belief that they're entitled to do what they do, that normal rules don't apply to them. And this belief system allows them to commit acts that would destroy most people psychologically. Because they don't see their victims as equals, they see them as props in their personal narrative. There's also a profound lack of empathy. Not an absence of understanding, but an absence of care. Many serial killers are highly intelligent. They understand how people think and feel. They use that understanding to manipulate, to gain trust, to position themselves perfectly. But they don't feel what their victims feel. There's no emotional connection, no guilt, no remorse. And when they're caught, when they're forced to confront what they've done, they often express regret only about being caught, not about the acts themselves. What makes them so dangerous is their ability to blend in, to appear normal, to function in society without raising suspicion. They hold jobs, they have relationships, they participate in communities, and all the while they're living a double life. The public face is carefully constructed, a mask they wear to move through the world undetected. But underneath, there's something else entirely. Something cold and calculating. Something that sees other people as objects to be used. When they're finally caught, society searches for explanations. People want to understand what went wrong, what could have been done differently. And while there are warning signs, there's no simple answer. Because the psychology of a serial killer is a complex web of biology, environment, trauma, choice, and opportunity. It's not one thing. It's a convergence of factors that creates a person capable of crossing lines most of us can't even imagine. Understanding this psychology doesn't excuse it. It doesn't justify anything. But it does reveal something important about human nature. That beneath the surface of civilization, beneath the social contracts we all agree to, there exists the capacity for extreme darkness. And in rare cases, that darkness isn't suppressed, it's cultivated, it's nurtured, and it's expressed in ways that shatter lives and communities. The truth is, we'll never fully understand what it's like inside the mind of a serial killer. We can study patterns, we can analyze behavior, we can interview them and build profiles. But there's a fundamental disconnect between their experience and ours, a gap that can't be bridged. Because to truly understand would require thinking like them, and that's a place most people, thankfully, will never go.